guys, it's Kathleen, and today I'm just doing a quick discussion video on why I love used books. So I'm probably not the only person on BookTube to have noticed this, but there's often a common theme on here of people disliking used or damaged books, and for this purpose I'm actually going to be defining used books as books that I've damaged as well. So books that are heavily used regardless. But I feel like oftentimes there's this attitude of people only wanting books that have like perfect covers, the pages are totally intact, there's no broken spines, anything, and I totally get that if you want a new book. But personally, I kind of love when books are like that. If I'm going to like a new bookstore and I'm buying a brand new book, obviously I want it to be in good condition. But if it's a book from a secondhand bookstore, or if it's from the library or something like that, or if it's one of my own that I've just loved a lot, then I don't really care. So today I just wanted to show you guys a few of my favorite used books, tell a couple stories, and talk about why I love them so much and why I think used books are great. So the first book I really wanted to show you guys is this guy, and I just pulled this from my shelves behind me, and like if you look at this, it doesn't look that bad. But this is What Will Happen in Harry Potter 7, and oh man, I loved this book so much. So if you're not familiar, this book came out in 2007, a few months before the actual 7th Harry Potter book was released, and I got it for Easter that year, and I was obsessed with it. I was 10 years old, and I pored over this book. I loved it. It doesn't actually look that damaged, like I said, but I will show you guys, like, see that spine, and look at this back cover. It's so bent. Oh my gosh, this is, like, look at that. Like, it's absolute disaster of a book in a sense, but I love it. When I look at this book, I see a lot of my 10-year-old self who was obsessed with Harry Potter and desperately wanted to know what was going to happen, and would go around and tell people all the theories that were in this book and be like, oh yeah, I think this is true, I think this is gonna be legit, even though like half of these weren't legit. I just remember being so excited about Harry Potter at that time, and I think it's fun to have a memory of that. Yes, I guess you could argue that I could have the memory even if it wasn't so damaged, but I argue that you actually probably couldn't in the same way, because I think this book really shows how much I loved it. I think it was like, it's an absolute disaster of a book, of course, now, but I think it represents how in love with it I was with the series, how intrigued I was by what was going to happen, how excited I was, and who I was when I was like 10 years old. So I think that's pretty cool, and it's part of the reason I love it. Like, I don't think I'd love this book and be so fond of it half as much if I hadn't used it so much, if I hadn't read it so much, if I hadn't basically worn it to bits. So because it's destroyed, this book is all the more special to me, and I really love it. So you guys saw The Shame of a Book in a pretty recent video, I believe, and that is Twilight. So this book, as you can see, is like so badly destroyed. Like, the cover is so bent up. Oh my gosh, like, look at this. This is ridiculous. I think this was actually my sister's copy, and it was the first copy any of us ever had, and then she just kind of passed it on to me at some point, and I just kept it in my life. But look at this, like, it is so destroyed, but I think that makes it better somehow. Like, I think oftentimes we make fun of Twilight nowadays and we kind of forget, oh, most of us were really into that back in the day. And the truth is, for some reason, I just like having a memory of loving something so much that I would do this to a book. The other thing is, like I said, this was literally passed from my sister, and it had been through my other sisters too, and it was given to me eventually. And I think that's kind of cool. I think it's great when books pass along. I just love this idea that even when, you know, a book isn't popular anymore and no one really cares about the story inside it, the book still kind of has its own story just in the physical cover of it, and I think that's really cool. So I really love this copy, even though I don't love this book. I love the idea that you can still have this intense sentimental attachment to something, even if you don't love the inside contents of the book anymore, and you can still love it and admire it and love that it's on your shelf, even if you don't think the story is that great. And now we're going to talk for a minute about actual used books. So I recently posted this tweet about how on Sunday I went to a bookstore that turned out to be a 5-minute walk from my house, and it's just a used like Goodwill bookstore, but they had so much great stuff, and it was the most magical day ever. I was so excited I found that. And what was there, of course, I bought books, and these are actually going to be an upcoming book haul at some point, but the books I got was My True Love Gave to Me, which is a short story Christmas collection of a bunch of YA authors, and then I also got this guy, which is of course the original Harry Potter. These editions are just really special to me, partially because I grew up on them, but also partially because they're not around anymore. Like, it's just cool to have. This is basically the first time it was printed in paperback in Canada. Like, it doesn't even list the final books. Like, you know it's not a reprinting. It only lists the first 4 books as being out in the world, so you know it's not a reprinting, which is kind of cool. And the other thing I noted when I got this book was, first of all, I found this random like folded notebook of piece of paper. Like, it doesn't have anything on it, it turns out, so I was kind of just like, why is this here? But what was in this book and made me so happy was this little inscription. Nick, I hope you enjoy this book as much as I did. Call me after you read it and we can discuss. Have an awesome Christmas. Love, Sam. I'm one of those people who loves inscriptions in books. I love seeing what people write to other people in books. And now I'm just like, who are Nick and Sam? I want to know. Like, I hope they were friends, or maybe they were a couple. Probably not. It doesn't sound like they were a couple. And I love this idea that they gave this book to this person before Harry Potter was like this huge thing everyone would have heard of and everyone would have read. So that just makes me happy. And I also love the idea of reading a book and passing it on to someone else. And I think that's really cute. And I think that's something you're only going to find with used books. And I think that's so cool. That was it for this quick little weird discussion video on why I really love used and damaged books. I just think they're the best. They're so great. I love having something that tells a story in more ways than one. And I feel like used books do that better than anything else. So this isn't really much of a super opinionated discussion or anything like that. But guys, if you do have thoughts on this, let me know. Let me know how you feel about used or damaged books. If you're somebody who really likes new books and likes only having those, I would like to know why. Just let me know in the comments below and we'll chat about it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it and subscribe on your way out if you're new here. I upload videos every Tuesday and Friday with occasional bonus uploads throughout the week. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, the links are all going to be in the description. But in the meantime, I will see you guys next time.